Hey, Feisty Kittens. Do you know what? I wanted to talk to you today. Do you know what someone told me? I had a conversation and somebody was just very casually saying in the group, they were like, you know what? If you haven't started your business by now, if you haven't started building your brand by now, it's too late. The internet is too saturated. You know what, Feisty Kittens? A lot of times people get sidetracked or they give up too soon because they hear things like this. They hear it from people that are maybe more established than them or who are more successful in their eyes. And they start listening to that and they believe that there's no point in getting started. And it's like, listen, Feisty Kittens, I want you to. Here's the thing. Because I'm always talking about no more business as usual. So, no more business as usual means that you don't have to do it the way other people do it in order to stand out. Because if you think about it, we hear all this stuff about there's a certain time to post. Influencers only do this, only influencers do this. And it's like, but here's the thing. The people who stand out, the people, think about the people that you follow or the people that you like. The people who stand out because they're not doing it the way anybody else is doing it. That's it, Feisty Kitten. So stop listening to that nonsense. You better get some headphones, what I call my BS blockers. Get some headphones if you have to as you're going through this. But listen, stop letting other people tell you what is not possible in your life. Okay? Because here's the thing there's 8 billion people on the planet. Okay? So you don't have to have 7 billion of them liking you. Nobody needs to, like, it would be awesome to be a Kardashian, but you don't have to live a Kardashian life to have a good one. And you don't have to have Kardashian, Kylie Jenner money to say that you're successful in your business. Okay. Like I tell people, I've got somebody that I work with, they're literally, when I first started doing this, somebody was like, you know what? I don't have to be famous. I just want to do what I love doing. And guess what? And I asked this person, I was like, but would you be willing if you could do what you love and what you're passionate about? And say if you weren't like the next like multimillionaire, the next Kylie Jenner or Lady Gaga or whatever, but what if maybe you're not gonna be the next Jay-Z? Maybe you're not. It's like, but what if you could take your talents and your skills and you could literally replace your day job income? Wouldn't that be enough? And it's like, so, you always want to keep setting the bar higher. But what if you just started off with, like, you know what? I'm in a job that I can't stand. So I'm going to try and figure out how I can do what I actually enjoy doing and do it. And because you think about it, it's like if you've been willing to deal with, and people always say, well, you got to work, you got to pay bills. So that's very, very true. You got to have an income. You don't have to have a job, but you have to have an income. You got to have something coming in. So if you can take that, and if you can do something that you truly enjoy doing, and make an income from that and replace the income from something maybe that you didn't enjoy doing as much, it's like then that's a good start, right? Maybe. But you can start that simple. So don't let other people tell you what is not possible for you. Don't let other people tell you what market is oversaturated or whatever. Because if anything, I feel like there's so much noise out there. There's so much noise. And so I feel like if you can stay focused on what you're good at, like I talk to people all the time who have like these obscure podcasts. I remember even when true crime used to be considered obscure. It's like, but I talk to these people like they have the most random things. When I first started doing my podcast, the number one podcast out there, it was like a whole network, but the number one podcast on Blog Talk when I first started was Backyard Chicken of Farmers. Yeah. I didn't even know that people farm chickens in their backyard. But I was on Blog Talk and I found a whole network of people. And it's like, so stop thinking that you have to I have to have 1 million fans. I have to have this. None of that. Guess what? If you can get 100 people that are truly excited and interested in what you have to share, it's like that dedicated and loyal following will take you everywhere. Because here's the thing, as we can see with stuff like Clubhouse, Twitter was just talking about they're going to think about introducing a new feature called super follows. So as we're seeing all this loud screaming noisiness, it's confusing people, it's throwing people off. So I think that one of the trends that I see, and trend, I hate that word, but one of the things that I think that just we're exhausted, especially after 2020. It was a hot mess. So I just think that as a socially, we're just exhausted. And as we've seen, like I said, Clubhouse, they're going up even further into the cloud. So it's like, but the thing is, I think that we're going to move more towards um, groups that feel loyal, that are actually interested in what you have to say. No more just screaming out to the rafters and hoping people like what you have to say, but literally like narrowly targeting and being focused on those followers or those fans or those listeners who are dedicated, and literally tailoring, whether it's your offerings, your products, your topics, but tailoring it to fit that ideal audience, and that's all that you need to focus on. And it's like, so I think the times they are a changing, and that might be for the best. But like we said, we see like how things are changing. iPhone, the ad stuff that Apple is doing, Facebook panicking, and a lot of people, their ads will still be something that, because we've created an online world now where you got to target to figure out what people want. But I think a lot of that is because we have pushed away the trust. I know me, half of the stuff that I used to do, I don't do it. I don't buy into it. I don't put my money into it because I no longer feel like that is a real connection that I have with whoever that was that I was following or that I was buying from. Like, I just don't feel like it. I literally, like I was in the personal and growth industry for about 12 years, and I kind of pushed away from that because the energy in that whole community kind of changed for me, especially here locally, like in Colorado. So I had kind of pushed away from that a little bit. And as you know, if you followed me in the least bit, I've been busy this past couple of years. I've been pushing off like QAnons and Proud Boys, and I've had all kinds of stuff like attacking my websites. Um, I wasn't a number one favorite with the tech community after I was very loudly questioning some of the Theranos stuff. So I just kind of got on that do not touch list, and you didn't see me for a couple of years. I'm back. And this time, it's like I do think that I'm seeing social. Wow, it is really looking like the Wild Wild West now, and so I'm interested in this to see just how things say, whether like with groups, Twitter trying to introduce their new feature with the communities and everything. So we'll see how that changes. As far as straight from the hip, I'm still going to become shooting straight from the hip, but I'm doing it in a little bit different way. So starting today, I'm still building out the community. I've got Straight Social coming, and I want to tell you about Straight Social because I'm excited about it. Straight Social is not, people are like, because I actually was talking to somebody and they're like, so you're trying to do another Facebook? I'm not doing another Facebook. I'm not doing another Facebook. Facebook's got enough problems. It's like, but the thing is, what I want to do is I want to, my Straight Social community is going to kind of enhance and kind of take the conversations that I'm having on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever, because they're forever censoring me on those places. And it's like, so I can take those conversations that I'm having and have them on my actual community where people can feel like they can talk freely without being censored or without other people listening, because even I had to call a lot of my social media recently, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, because like the whole point of social is to be social, and it's like it kind of defeats the purpose if you've got people that are following you who don't actually like you, aren't really interested in anything that you want to say, aren't interested in participating in any conversations, and don't want you participating in theirs. And they kind of have that, what's that little baby line? They kind of got that mindset of, I heard they got the bag, I'm trying to stop it up. So that type of, if you're surrounded by that, like if that's what you got around you as your social circle or your followers or whatever, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow because that energy is literally going to be around and blocking anything that, like, hey, the people that are like, hey, I like what you got to say, hey, I really like your show, they can't even get to you because you're surrounded by like all of this that doesn't want anybody to hear what you got to say. It's like, so I'm eliminating all that. As you see, I called a lot of the social media sites, but I would much rather, like I said, I'd much rather have 100 really loyal people interested in what I have to say than thousands of people that are kind of lukewarm about what I'm talking about. There's enough people out there already. There's enough influencers out there already handling all that. So I don't need to jump into that. So I just am excited about Straight Social. I want it to be a community because that's what I didn't find this past year. Everyone's talking about, oh, community, community. We did. I didn't find that. I haven't had that for like 4 years. I've been online. I've been talking at people, but I haven't had any two-way conversations in a really long time. And so I'm ready to just start making friends, not the followers, not, it's like, I don't want people to follow me. I want people to connect with me, to interact with me, to speak with me. It's like so Straight Social. I'm excited about it. We're building it out. It's gonna be someplace where you can actually just come and hang out. And so I'm getting ready for that, and I'll tell you more like as we get closer to that.